Hi guys, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. This is Psychic Anastasia again. Welcome back or welcome, and I'm happy to introduce myself to you if you're visiting for the first time. So today I'm taking a little video in my house because it started raining outside and I don't really want to be standing out there getting soaked and ruining my equipment and everything. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is about astral projection and misconceptions with it. And I'd also like to relate a personal experience with this and how I actually learned that I was astral traveling all along and also how to do it in a way that works for me. So, where I started was basically around 10 years old. I came across a book about astral projection, and then I ended up going online and finding different forums that had very popular methods of projecting listed in it. I started immediately, and what I found was that a lot of people were saying, the vibration stage, it's all about the vibration stage. Like you have to get there. And then once you expand that vibration in your body, it can move around, you can control it, you can expand it, contract it, yada, yada. And then you project from your body from that stage once it's really strong. So night after night, I would be laying in my bed and I would do this for hours every single night as I was falling asleep. Let my body fall asleep, keep my mind awake, however you're able to do that when you're not really sure what's coming from the human mind and how that can really be described. And I would get to this so-called vibration stage, and then I would try to pop out of my body and nothing would happen. I'd be laying there like getting frustrated, like, hey, something's supposed to be happening now. Like people just told me that this is how it works. I never got anywhere. And I also had this lingering fear in the back of my subconscious mind that would say, I can't do it or I don't want to do it. Night after night, my mind would tell me this. And I didn't know how to get rid of that fear because I was like, I really want to break free. I want to explore. I want to do things. But my mind just kept saying, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this. Or what if I see something scary? What if something cuts the silver cord to my body? What if I go to a dimension that I don't want to be in and I can't get out? So that was one of my self-limiting beliefs that I had. First, the vibration stage. Second of all, it was the fear. So the way that I actually broke out of this was I was in an ayahuasca ceremony. It was sometime last year when I had a very powerful ceremony and I had to face my fear of leaving my body consciously. I had to face my attachment to my body because to me, my body represented comfort. I would look at my body and say, this body is mine. This is my vessel. This is my home. And when I actually broke out of my body, I surrendered much in the way of dying. I said, okay, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to go. If I die here in the ceremony, that's it. And the way it worked for me was very effortless. And I actually have this post in my Reddit profile. So if you want to go read that, or I can make a video detailing that again for you guys, check out my Reddit profile. I have it listed there. And it was so effortless because I literally just turned over my physical body to grab my water bottle. I was very thirsty. And then I looked around and I realized that I left my body behind. It was like, oh my God, how many people had I seen writing posts and so many different methods about sometimes you have to like throw yourself out of your body. You have to climb out. You have to drag yourself out of your body. And here it was just like easy as swimming or like moving through water. It was just like, okay, done. I'm out of my body. There was no separation that needed to occur. And after that, I started consciously astral traveling every night. I did not set an intention for it. I would just do it. I would wake up in the astral and I'd be like, okay, cool. Now I'm out here. Now I'm exploring. I'm meeting people and so forth. So that was quite fascinating to me because when I started astral traveling consciously and remembering my travels, I would be like, well, there's no vibration stage. There's actually no method for it for me. There's no pulling myself out of my body. There's no climbing. There's no setting an intention. I'm just out. I'm just doing what I'm naturally meant to do. And it feels good because it feels like I already knew how to do this all along. So I started kind of breaking apart these methods that people have put together. And it wasn't in criticism. It was just looking at the vibration of it. Because what we have to be mindful of is that any energy that we are interacting with is a vibration that we are taking into our body. So if we're talking to somebody who's really angry and they're venting and they're sending all of their anger towards us, we're absorbing that vibration. If we are reading something that's really low consciousness, like somebody's attacking somebody else or, somebody's being very disagreeable, We're taking in that low consciousness, slow, dense energy there, all centered in the mind. And this one's really tough to deal with, but one thing that's difficult about making guides on the internet is that if it's not coming from the heart space and we're not like kind of channeling it from our soul, then it can be very mind-based. And that's where we get confused, because energy of the mind is an illusion. The ego only exists in the matrix. The ego doesn't exist outside of that. Spirit and energy exist everywhere, both in and outside of the matrix, but spirit is what's real. So if somebody is actually, for example, they have a really strong experience where they receive instructions from a being or from their higher self on how to share a method, that's how we get a high vibration, because it's from spirit. That totally bypasses the energy of the mind. And then we're able to just like download that energy into our body. That's why we can connect to people who are channeling. That's why we can connect to people who are very heart-centered, people who are just connected to spirit and source all the time. It's easy to understand because the energy does not even have to be processed by the mind. It's understood by the heart. So that's what I did. And that was my main focus when I made that guide online about the Arcturian way of astral traveling, because they explained it very clearly to me. They had me do it hundreds of times. I've done it many, many times since they introduced it to me. And then they shared that because I have a very intimate knowledge with that channeled experience, then I get to channel it from my heart and I get to share it with people. And that's how it can start to make sense. That doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to instantly get it and that it's going to click instantly. You know, just like, because if you speak to somebody who's enlightened and they're sharing that vibration with you, it doesn't make for instant enlightenment, but it starts to get the ball rolling to start these little things to click into place. It starts to allow a series of events to happen. It plants a subconscious seed so that when we are actually looking for enlightenment, we will slowly, slowly integrate that into our life, and then we can become enlightened eventually. So that was kind of my process there of seeing that some guides that people had shared were purely from the mind, because it's easy to get caught up in that. It's easy to have an experience and then to compartmentalize. And then we have to put it step by step, and we have to explain it in a way that people are going to get it. But if we're explaining from our mind and people are understanding from their mind, we don't really get anywhere. And I'm not saying that's that way for everybody. I'm just saying that when I read those things, it brought me up into my head, and it created an energy where I tried to experience it with my brain instead of with my heart and my soul. You know, the brain has to be totally detached from this entire process. It's there to work as a tool and as a helper. It's kind of like your sidekick, but it's not the main event. It's not what is going to get you out of your body. It's the energy. So that was a big misconception that I had to realize over time, was I had to look at the energy of everything that I was witnessing. And that's actually really why I stay off of the internet most of the time. I don't read crap that doesn't do good things to my energy. I had to learn that over many years. If there's something that is not resonating with what I'm seeking, because a lot of people do post really high vibration things. You know, we want that. We want to bring that into our life. We want to share that. We want to expand that energy. But if there's something that isn't like that, I'm going to stay away from it, which is why I also ask Spirit to teach me instead. If I have a question, I'm going to my higher self, or I go to the astral for that. If I have a question, I just wait for the answer to come, rather than asking other people who might be getting their answers from, you don't know where. You know, it could be a good place, it could be a bad place. You know, we just have to feel in individually where information comes from. So next on this list here for misconceptions, we already have vibration stage. We might not need that. Just a little bit of tying off that part there is that I work with a lot of clients who I teach about astral travel to. You know, we work in the astral together. People come visit me, I come visit them. It's all guided by the higher self. You know, this is all about using that world to be more of service 24/7. I would say about 75 to 95% of clients that I work with astral projection, they don't experience a vibration phase ever. Never, ever. It's not part of their travels in any way, shape, or form. So just keep that in mind, because vibration stage might work for you, but it totally might not. And I just want you to let go of that if it is becoming more of a burden to you, if it's holding you back. So there are more ways that we can explore. Another thing that I want to share with you guys is that the astral travel doesn't have to be controlled. A lot of people like to ask me, oh, you astral travel every night. That's really cool. Does that mean you can have sex with whoever you want to? Does it mean you can go to heaven? Does that mean you get to spy on people? And it's like, okay, hard stop there. One of the reasons why you might not be able to astral travel is because your ego is involved. I'm here to be of service. That's the lesson that I learned about my life. So this may not apply to you, but this might resonate with you in a way that can help you at some point. Since we are all technically here to be of service in one way or another, are we being of service to somebody if we are using the astral to go have sex with a celebrity? Like, is that really the highest good that we can be doing for the planet? There might be a situation where that's true. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. But if that's what you're doing and if that's your intention, that might be exactly what's slowing you down, because that's coming from the mind. The mind is all about self-pleasuring. The mind just wants to gain. The mind wants to take. And even if you're not looking to take, even if you're a very giving, loving person, we still need to be careful that everybody has an ego, including me. We have to see what it's doing at all times and how sneaky it can be as well. So keep an eye on that. You might be hindering yourself because you just want to be exploring, when in reality, somebody needs your help out there. Once you surrender to being of service and receiving what the universe needs you to receive, whether you like it or not, you're going to be traveling all the time. And like me, you're going to have so many experiences you can't even keep up with them. So another part of this as well too is a lot of people say, okay, so I actually got out of my body, but now everything is like slow. When I try to move, I feel like I'm walking through mud. Check your ego again. When we have the ego and the spirit in one place, they're like playing against each other like this. We have tug of war going on. Ego and spirit can help each other. They're fantastic tools to work with one another. But when they're trying to operate in the same place, we get nowhere. We literally get stuck. So if we are thinking, okay, now I'm out of my body. Now I want to walk down the hallway. Now I'm going to exit my door and go to my friend's house, see what he's doing at night. That's ego. For as innocent as that is ego right there. So we have to see, am I still allowing my mind to control this experience? If we let go of that and we just say, hey, spirit, take me somewhere I need to be, you might end up having an experience that blows you away and takes you above and beyond what you ever could have imagined experiencing. Like, I'm telling you, dimensions that are full of angels and aliens, light beings, ETs, spirit guides, family members, ancestors, spirit animals, and so forth, that are so blissful and divine that it surpasses any level of pleasure or happiness that you've ever felt in your life. Like, interesting noise over there. That's what I'm telling you, what is available to you when you surrender. Because what spirit needs to bring to us, our mind doesn't know, so we have to surrender. So if you surrender, you might find yourself not getting stuck anymore. You'll just be traveling fluidly. And then that also ties into, for many of us, when we astral travel, I'm not saying this goes for everybody, by the way. Everything that I share here is not for everybody. It's only for who it resonates with. So don't take this too literally. If it doesn't resonate with you, like, you're allowed to move on and have your own experiences. But the way that this ties in is that we don't always just have to be guided in a way where we think we know something. The higher self and the soul will take us to where we need to go at all times, no matter what. And this can be a hard lesson for people to understand, even me at some point, because there was somebody that I knew who, just to say the very least, had a lot of jealousy for me and my gifts. And I wanted nothing to do with this person. And I was like, okay, I've tried to make my peace with them. Like, I'm going to move on with my life. And they kept visiting me in the astral. They would come to me. They would tell me all kinds of things. They would just pop up wherever I was. And I got so frustrated. I would wake up mad and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I hate this. I don't want this to happen. It took them months of visiting me before I actually got the message that I was here to heal them. So let's just see here that there is a higher purpose to everything that we experience. Even if we go to a very low realm, I've been to these low realms before that felt like a prison, or like they were full of suffering and anger and pain. I would be there and I would be like, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here. And then when I surrendered and asked my higher self what was going on, they said, you're actually here to help heal the frequency. You're not here to suffer. You're not here to get wrapped up in that vibration. People who visit you that you might not necessarily enjoy being around as a person, you might still be sent to heal them as well too, which is why we end up with people in our life that we don't really like. We are there to learn a lesson, how to have compassion, how to have forgiveness. We are here to create a connection and for our mind to accept that we are all intimately connected, and there is nothing that we can do about the connection we have with every being and piece of consciousness on this planet, because we are the universe. So let that sink in. Think about that today. Think about that. You are the universe. I am the universe as well. That's why in the Arcturian method of astral traveling, I know I didn't mention this in the video, but what I explained about expanding your energy until it's touching everything around you and goes beyond that is that you're just recognizing and acknowledging that you are the universe. That's how you become limitless, when you say, yes, I am the universe. The universe is me. Everything outside of me is also within me. Everything within me that I develop is also outside of me. So that's kind of what we're seeing here, that Arcturians are also about the universe. They're about the ultimate connection between all of consciousness that we cannot deny. The mind can pretend it's not happening and that it's not real, but on an energetic level, it's true. So just be mindful that whatever you connect to in the astral is meant to be, even if it is very terrifying for you at first, even if you have apprehension for it, even if you see something that makes you feel very disturbed or very shaken. When you wake up, or if you have this consciousness in the astral, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this, spirit? What is my higher self trying to tell me? Because I know that I am protected and my guides are with me. So what are they trying to show me that I can learn from? So keep that one in mind, because this goes for all of life and all of spirit too. This goes for every experience that we have. This is something that was very difficult for me to get over for a long time, because I seemed to attract dark entities for a long time. I literally wanted to die because I thought I was cursed. I thought I was doomed. I thought I was evil. I thought there was everything wrong with me in the world, until I started communicating with everything that came to me, and I started to understand that things were hurt and things just wanted a space to be heard. They wanted to be recognized and acknowledged and then healed. That's why scary dark things don't come to me anymore, because once I realize and recognize them for who and what they are, the whole appearance shifts. When you're not buying into the fear and pain that might be on the surface, then you see the truth of what things are, when you have a neutral perspective. I'm going to make another video about this for you guys to listen to, but one thing that's very important is to not project beliefs onto anything we experience. Our goal is not to only be filled with love and light, because that's actually projection. The goal is to have neutrality so that we can see the truth of things for what they are. So for example, the goal is not to see a new person that you really like and that you've met, and they really resonate with you and you're like, oh, they're so nice, they're great, they're perfect. And then when they say something that kind of ticks you off, then you're like, that can't be like them, because you're having a belief about who that person is. You're not giving that person space to be who they need to be and move through their own processes. So I want you guys to think about that. Neutrality about every situation. Neutrality even about things in the astral that you encounter. You'll move through very fluidly if you don't have any beliefs attached and if you have no expectations for what you're going to go through. When we are simply in a state of surrender, the universe brings everything to us. And that's how we know that we're receiving what we need, because we're not trying to strangle something into making it give way to what we want. We're not trying to force anything to give into our desires. So this is how you, I guess in a huge way, can get yourself more in touch with a very authentic astral experience. So I guess that this video would be for anybody who astral projects or astral travels, people who are learning, people who have never heard of it before, people who may have been doing it for 30 years but just want to take a step back to see how somebody else sees this. And like I said before, not all of this has to resonate with you. You don't have to take this as your Bible. This is just to share with you, because the universe asked me to share this with you. So I know that this will help at least one person. That's why I do what I do. That's why I really don't care about how many people see my videos or my posts, or how many people recommend me to others. What matters is that I connect to the people that I'm meant to connect to, because when there's a message, somebody needs to receive that. So if that's you, if this resonates with you today, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for allowing yourself to be open. And also thank you for walking a spiritual path in a way that you are allowing the universe to speak to you, because really that's what this is. I open a video, I start recording, and I start channeling. It's my experience. It's my heart. This is my life. This is what I love. this is what makes me breathe every day. This is what gives me life. But also, in a way, this is what Spirit wants to tell you, and this is what the universe has to say to you. So here we go. Good luck in your travels. Good luck in your whole life, all endeavors that you embark on. And please like, comment, subscribe, share some ideas with me, or if you want to talk about something that I mentioned in this video, or if there is an idea that you have that you'd like me to make a video about, please reach out to me, because I love to hear from you guys. And really, it makes my world go around just knowing that people are receiving and that this is helping you on your path. So have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day wherever you are. May you receive everything that God wants you to have in this life, and may you be able to recognize with gratitude what the universe is gifting to you. So goodbye for now. I'll see you in another video really soon, and ciao, ciao.